um, a man's man, a real man that is self-regulated and is in control of his emotions, not suppressing his emotions, but in control of his emotions. How would he respond? Would he respond in anger or with wisdom? What would a child do? What does a child do when they're frustrated and they don't have coping mechanisms and they don't know how to deal with certain things?
They throw their toys.
They throw their toys. And it's just, now we're just sitting with older men throwing their toys because they were too scared or too emotionally dysregulated to even recognize that this is what's going on.
Yes.
This is what we're trying to help people to correct. And in my practice, it is a big part of what I do is to almost reset the nervous system. So we figure out what it is that's not necessarily what's causing this. And I wouldn't even say we go all the way down to root cause because that's not always necessary. But we do get to the bottom of where this anger sits and where the sadness sits, because all of these are subsets of anger. So your fear, your guilt, and your sadness, and underneath of that you have your abandonment and your rejection and all of that stuff. So once you've cleared that and you have your clear slate, like we had with Yvonne, now you can build on that stuff. And I also like, I can't remember exactly what it is that you said, but this all comes back down to, from a subconscious or unconscious level, which is where all of your behaviors sit, your memories, your organization, all of those things. That is where you make the change. So you'll find a lot of times men that have bad tempers and they're like, I need to change, I want to change. And they are really white knuckling their way through life. They are grinding their teeth, but they're not expressing their anger. This is not a healthy way of dealing with your anger. I just want to put that out there. It is absolutely going to show itself when you least expect it and when you are in your worst space and when you do not have control over what's going on. And it will spew out of your pores. And that's when you're going to make the biggest mistakes, or possibly even mistakes that you can't retract. There are certain things that can happen in a relationship that can be fixed. There are also certain things that can happen in a relationship that can never be repaired, even if both of you want to. So for a guy to be dysregulated to such a degree where anger is coming out all the time, this is a huge indication that there's a lot of inner work that needs to be done. And he's literally fighting that little boy inside that was abandoned and rejected and hurt.